All right. And then I'm going to send it also to Facebook. Isn't this great? You guys are going to be on Facebook Live today. Woohoo!
We've made it, Santi.
We made it.
I love it, you guys. That's right. Facebook,
Doesn't
here we come.
doesn't get better than this, really.
I don't think so. I don't think so. It's pretty cool. Okay, it's going to go live here in just a second. Just going to need a couple of moments for the Facebook to work. Excellent. And Zoom. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce to you Santiago, from a team member from Brian Burnett's office in Utah. What city are you guys working out of?
We're in St. George, Utah.
St. George. Okay, so there's a couple others really strong teams in that area too, right?
Yeah, there is. There's a handful.
Wow, fantastic. Well, Brian, we've interviewed Brian a number of times before, and was at an event oh my gosh, a few months ago, and Brian introduced me or told me, hey, you got to talk to this guy. And I said, yeah. And he said, no, really, you got to talk to this guy. So talked to Santiago real quick. We connected up, and Santiago is on Brian's team and does a really terrific job. And as I've been getting to really learn about and understand Santiago, I think he's perfect to talk to our group today. We have so many agents, I think, that can relate to him. So welcome, Santiago Mendez, to our MasterMind. Absolutely. We're going to add Brian in a little bit to kind of confirm some of the things that Santiago is going to share with us and talk about. But Santiago, tell us a little bit about your story before we get started here. I mean, you've been a top real estate agent. You came in, you did business immediately, right? Isn't that the story?
It took me a couple of years, but yeah, that's yeah.
Took a couple of years, exactly. So, you're originally from Mexico, correct?
Yes. I was born and raised in Mexico, correct.
Okay, and you came across and started working in America, but not in real estate. You were doing some other work.
Yep.
So tell us that story a little bit.
Okay, so my dad came to America first, and then he brought us all over as a little kid. So for the longest time, I thought I was born in America, right? So I consider St. George my hometown. And then my dad is a landscaper. He's a blue collar worker. Great dad. And he taught me all the fundamentals, right? To work hard, be honest, be trustworthy. And he's like, son, go to work, go to school, you'll make a great living. And for some reason, he ended up sending me back when I was, I think, in intermediate school for some reason. So I was out there for about 2 years, and then I came back over to America again. I was living with my grandparents at the time. And same thing. I started working with my dad, went to school. Every summer, I'd work with my dad, right? And I was a little kid. I wasn't getting paid. But the reason he did that is just to teach me a lesson, which was when I first hit 15 years and a half, like 15 years, he gave me my first paycheck. And he's like, hey, dude, here's your first paycheck. This money with the sweat of my forehead is what I do to provide for you and your mom and pay the bills. So he taught me my lesson that way, and the fundamental of saving money. And then I grew up older, and went to school. I was paying for my rent. I grew up pretty quick. He was just a great example.
Santiago, if I could stop you for just a point of context, how old are you now?
I'm 29.
29 years old. Okay,
correct.
So you're not even 30 years old yet.
Next year I will. This year I will. This year, yeah.
Okay, just want to get a point of reference. So what year did you get your license? When you were 18?
I got my license. When did I join you, Brian?
I can't remember. Is it 4 years ago?
Yeah, like 4 or 5 years ago is when I got my license. So
And
let me
you started with not with Brian, but the company Brian worked for.
correct. Yep. I
Got it.
started.
And but you left that company.
I did. I did.
I've never heard of a real estate agent ever doing that before.
Well, um, there was a broker here at the time. I wasn't licensed at the time, when I was talking to this broker, but I was taking my online courses, and he was just like really, I kind of knew him at the time. Like I knew a little bit about him, so that's why I kind of had like trust towards him. And he's like, dude, are you doing your courses? Like, are you licensed? Like, come in, come talk to me. I can like help you change your life. And obviously, like, I mean, everybody would want that, right? So, I got my license. It took me 4 tries to get my real estate license, and we sat down. And he's like, "Hey, dude, like, are you ready to, change your life?" And I said, "Yeah, I mean, I'm ready. I got my license for a reason, and I just want to learn. I want to learn everything about real estate." So anyway, so that day we sat down. I called my boss. I was working at the oil fields at the time in North Dakota, and the way it works, you work 4 weeks on, and you take 1 or 2 weeks off. But I always took 1 week off only because I like working. So I called my guy and I'm like, "Hey, dude, I'm not coming back." And he was really upset. He's like, "Hey, dude, because every job I've always had, I've always kind of raced to the top. Whether it was landscaping, whether it was welding, whether it was in the rodeo, whatever it was. I've always just been that kind of guy that's kind of like, okay, I just want to keep learning, keep learning. So this guy did so much for me, and I big thank you to him. So I called him and I said, "Hey man, like I'm not gonna come back to work." He's like, "Dude," he's like, "You're not gonna come back." He's like, "For after everything I've done for you, like, and then he just kind of cussed me out a little bit, and he's just like, "Hey, I'm gonna make sure you never get a job here ever again," because he was pretty upset. And
Never going to
then
get a welding job again.
yeah, up with a big company that I was working with. Yeah, he was like the main guy. So hung up the phone, and I got a little sales script book. It was the Everest sales script, and the broker at the time told me, "Hey, go to your contacts, call everybody, and use this script." But I wasn't. I mean, I didn't really. When you first get into scripts, it kind of feels funny talking to people you know. So I went through all my contacts, and I got zero leads. So what I want to go do, I want to go door knock. Like that day I quit my job, I'm like, okay, like I got no more, I don't have a job, I don't got a paycheck coming in, like I need to go. So I started knocking doors, and I think that day I set like 6 appointments, but they were not qualified appointments because I was like,
Oh,
hey, I'm here in the neighborhood. Do you guys want a free appraisal? And at the time, I didn't even know what an appraisal was. It's just like an estimated value of your property. So I ended up calling someone here, and I had like no, I think they were busy at the time. So I ended up calling someone from a different brokerage that she had barely gotten her license. And she answered, and she's like, "Hey, dude, you can't be saying you're going to give free appraisals out because we don't do that. We do CMAs." And she was with a team lead at that time, so she handed over the phone to him, and he's like, "Hey, dude," he's like, "this is what you say," and then pretty much what he said, "Just come to my office, we'll chat," and I did, and then he just kind of sold me on it, and I was in his team for a couple of months, like six
so
months.
that was so you went from Century 21 that you had just joined, but not Brian. You
Not
didn't really know
Brian.
much about Brian, right?
No, no, no. I didn't know Brian was a big deal at the time because I just didn't know any better. But then I found out who he was.
And
Yeah,
then you went to this other company that shall remain nameless.
yeah.
Okay. And they worked with you for a couple months.
Couple of months.
Yeah. And then what happened?
So at that time, like I said, I had no idea about real estate. So the only two things they provided for me was like a little CRM and then Redx dialer. That's all they provided for me, right? And it's funny because if you go in every office, everybody likes to, and I think it's great, right? It's just not for me. But a lot of people go in, they chit chat, and I'm like, is this the way real estate works? Like, I was just super confused. So the guy sat me down. He's like, "This is the way you use RedX, and if you set an appointment, I'll pay you a 25% referral fee." And I thought it was great. I mean, he told me the number. I'm like, okay, like that's pretty easy. So I would call people, and I would just make my own scripts at that time. And I didn't have an office. I was just like in the middle of nowhere. not in the middle of nowhere, but like just like on the just a little desk. And it's funny because I would just dial nonstop. And then a lot of people would come in and they would come listen, but I had no idea what I was doing. And then I ran like out of money, and then I'd go in the MLS and I
Oh, that's never happened before here.
yeah. I'm sure all these agents kind of, went through the same, same thing as I did. And so anyway, so I would go to the MLS and I would pick a listing, right, to call. And I would always see Brian Burnett, just listed, just sold, pending, new listing, sold. And I'm like, who is this guy? And and then I'm like, I would ask people like, do you guys know Brian? He's like, yeah, he's a top producer guy. And but they didn't know much about him, like how he runs his business. I mean, this guy's a machine. And the people I was asking, they just kind of go in there, they have their coffee and they just kind of hang out. And I'm like, I want to know who this guy is. So I switched back to Century 21 Realty. Um, George actually helped me making this decision because I was in the verge of like,
George
okay, like
Morris.
George Morris.
Yeah, good
Yeah.
guy.
He great guy. I had no money. He had a retreat up in Salt Lake and I had no money. I had no money to for gas. I had no money to stay. He calls me up and he's like, "Hey dude," he's like, "Come to Century 21." He's like, "You got two options. Option number one, I'll pay for your flight, or option number two, I'll pay for your room." So I ended up taking the option number two. He bought me a really nice room, and I worked a little bit, to get some gas. Went over to Salt Lake, had a great time out there, and then I made my decision to go back to Century 21. And then after that, I kind of knew who Brian was, just through the MLS. And I would see this guy come in every single day in the morning at the same time, like to the T, to the second, right? He was just super locked, and he was the last guy to leave the office. I mean, he just come in. He had a really nice Porsche. I mean, really nice suit, all cleaned up, very, very positive. And I'm like, I want to be a part of that. So I started doing what he did, right? So he'd come super early and I'd want to beat him to the office in the morning. And then he'd stay super late. So I'm like, I'm gonna stay super late too. And then we just crossed path and he's like, "Hey, you have you ever thought about joining a team?" But he was like interviewing me because his circle is so unique. Like I've been through other real estate offices, and I've like met some other teams and stuff, but not like it didn't catch my attention, right? I mean, Brian's the type of guy, something I will never forget is he's like, we got to work if like our clients are watching right behind us. Like we got to work if our clients are like right behind us watching us work. And that always stood up to me, which it was customer service. And then he's like, he talked to me. He's like, well, he's like, I don't have a job opening now, but I think he was kind of like testing me at the time. And then a couple of days after, we sat down. I sat down with Tiara and we went down to the whole thing. And then, I mean, everything I have is because of him and his staff and his belief in me. But that's how we crossed
So
paths.
that's great. That's a great story. Brian, you there?
Yes, sir.
So how did you choose? How did you decide, okay, this is a guy, because you don't bring on people. That's not your thing, right?
Yeah, that's right. It's been a while, so it's hard to remember, but I do remember seeing this kid come in and being there when no one else was there. I didn't really know him or talk to him, but I just remember seeing him. And I wasn't building a team at the time, so I really wasn't trying to bring on anybody, but
And
I'd
and
hire.
you're sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize. Uh, you closed in pending last year for you.
My personal production or my
Yeah,
team?
your personal production
I think I did 110, something like that.
and your team,
They did 300.
right? So you've been
Well,
doing that
combined.
year in and year out, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've done
you
over
do.
100 deals forever.
Right. Okay, got it. And so this guy, this Santiago, who can't list and sell anything yet, he catches
No.
your attention somehow.
Yeah, I'd hired my first agent and we were kind of trying to figure it out. But he had such a very good, positive attitude, and a very just vibrant, and a very, I don't know, he's just a wholesome guy. It's like, hey, let's give this guy a shot.
Awesome. Fantastic. So Santiago, you went to work. What did he just say? Here's a desk, here's a sign. Good luck,
Yeah.
son. You're on your own. No?
No,
Yeah, yeah, probably. I think my
yeah,
training was pretty bad back then. I was just like, here's what I do. Try it out.
yeah.
So talk to us. So what happened?
So I joined Brian, and he just gave me some scripts, and he's like, "You got to memorize these scripts." And sometimes, every morning we'd role play, and I would just record him, and he's like, "Hey, record this role play," and then I just listen to it. And then I got a little, I was like super shy. I mean, prospecting and role playing right next to Brian, it was like super scary, and you just get like really nervous, and you're like, dude, this guy's like a freaking an elite agent, and it's just kind of like scary, and you just feel, I don't know, you just kind of feel terrified at that time, and especially I was like a really shy guy at the time, and like my verbiage was completely different. I mean, I would come up with words, I would
So
have like,
he so he told you to memorize your scripts,
correct.
and basically are the same Mike Ferry scripts we've all been practicing.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep. Mike Ferry.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Steve's.
So Brian, you don't have any magic scripts,
No, just the basics.
basics. Okay.
Yeah.
But by the way, Santiago, I asked you this earlier, and I wanted you to before you had. I asked you. You came from Mexico. You sound like from perfect English today, like you went to Harvard last week. You know. Did you have an accent? Did you clear it up? What did you do?
Yeah, I mean, I just practice. I mean, I read some more. I listened to audibles. I listened to the way Brian speaks. I just really play paid really close attention to the way Brian would communicate with his clients. And sometimes he would be like, okay, like let's not say this, record this, listen to the recording and say it like this. So that's how I adjusted on the way he talks to his clients, the way he talks to his staff. That's how I was able to. I mean, I still have issues sometimes when I speak, when I'm presenting an offer on prospect, when I'm role playing. I still, will have some funny words I'll say in there, but
But
Brian helped me out a lot with that.
Brian, how much of an accent at the time?
I don't think he had like a bad accent. He just, you could tell, I don't know if English was a second language, but sometimes words would get mixed up and they just didn't make sense.
Okay.
And he actually talks really good. He talks good when he's talking to someone, but then when he got nervous or whatever on the scripts, it got all just kind of jumbled. I mean, he really struggled on the scripts and talking to people. Like it was rough at the very beginning for sure.
So was there ever a time where you didn't think he was going to make it?
Yeah, I didn't think he was gonna make it. Honestly, I was like,
Santiago,
hey,
did you
this
know
guy's
that?
great.
Santiago, did you know that?
Well, there was one time where me and Brian sat down together, and then I think I started making some deals, and he's just saying, he's like, dude, he's like, I thought you were just never gonna make it, right? But something I never did was, I'm like, dude, you should have told me that way sooner, then I would have picked it up because it's a job, right? Like, I mean, like I said, his culture is just like customer service, protecting like the people. So we just wants to make sure that we're producing and we're giving people the best customer service we can.
So Santiago, let's fast forward a little bit. Last year, you closed how many transactions?
I think under 60. What do you think, Brian? I can't
Okay.
remember.
Yeah, you're right around 50 something.
Okay.
50
And most of those listings are buyers.
I would say, what's a percentage? I would say like what,
You're about
60?
50. You're about 60-40, 50-50, probably
Okay.
60-40.
Got it. Excellent. That's great. And Santiago, does Brian hand you transactions or do you have to fight for every deal?
I sometimes when he can't go into an appointment, he'll send me. But if I'm always on the phone. I'm always just trying to set up a full pre-qualified appointment every single day.
I think you mentioned to me that you and Brian daily work on that.
Yeah, yeah. So we have an accountability to set one. I mean, I want to do about 80 deals this year. So it's really simple. It's just setting one qualified appointment every single day.
And when you say qualified, you mean qualified. You're going
Well,
on that appointment.
correct. Yeah. Or finding
Okay.
a better appointment to replace it with that one.
And your plan is to take a listing today.
Correct. Yep. That's the plan.
Right. Brian, that the plan?
Yeah, that's still my plan.
Yeah.
We're just
So
he wanted to go next level. He wanted to do 100 deals and make $1 million. And I said, okay, well, we gotta focus on appointment every single day. So every day I'll check in with them every morning, every night. It's like, where are you at? Are you there?
uh-huh. Got it. So are you on your own, Santiago? Is that what you guys are telling me?
No, he's on my team,
Okay,
but
got it.
he's gonna be the first guy on my team to we have two that are pushing the envelope to make $1 million. But I was like, if you want to be on a team and make $1 million, you gotta hit one appointment a day.
Got it. Okay. And it's coming from the scripts and dialogues that we all are working from, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, Santiago, tell me how you got there. I mean, Brian's not the kind of guy that kind of walk you through everything, but he sounds like he has this is the way I do business,
Yeah.
figure it out, right?
Yeah, well, Brian is a great example, not by talking, but by showing. I mean, this
Okay.
guy, I mean, he just has a little cubicle, makes his call, all around I'm right next to him. So, I mean, he doesn't tell me what to do. He just shows me what to do. And I think that's the best example that's out there. Instead of, you hear a lot of people say, do these things, but he does tell us, but he also does it by performing and as an example and does it every day.
So my sense, Santiago, is that as a younger, not a youth, I still think you're pretty young. But when you were younger, you were pretty entrepreneurial. Certainly a very hard worker. I mean, you were a rodeo guy, you were a welder, you were a landscaper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, how is it when you watch Brian, who's very focused, very consistent? How is it that you buy into the coaching and you go after it and you put your ego aside? How do you do that?
That's a great question. For me, I mean, Brian is just a good person overall, like religion, business, family guy. And if eventually I want to have a family of my own, and I thrive you know, to follow his example, right? I mean, he goes on dates, with his wife, on Fridays, non-negotiable. Um, he goes on trips with his kids, he runs a really successful business. So that's what I thrive
He's
to.
an investor.
Yeah, he's an investor. I mean, he's gave me an opportunity. He's the only guy that gave me an opportunity
He
and
drives a
stuck with me.
Porsche.
Yeah, yeah. When I met him, he was driving a white Porsche. Yeah.
Yeah, I can give you guys the formula for Santiago because he kind of created the avatar of who I hire now. Essentially, I look for someone like him who's not egotistical, as you can tell, who is a very positive, just a very positive, people friendly. He's very service oriented. He'll do anything for anybody. But the thing he hasn't told you, he has an insane work ethic. So,
So when you say,
I,
so Brian, you said that
yeah,
you're using him as an avatar, kind of a model, so to speak. So how do you determine work ethic
yeah.
quickly?
You just find out where they're from and what they've done. Essentially, You don't always know, but when you're with someone that has a crazy good work ethic, you just feel it. You know it.
Got it. Okay. So what about the people that don't have a work ethic and think they do?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. Like I mean that's I was never a dynamic salesperson. I just worked. Like I just worked.
Well, you
And
outwork everyone I know.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody that works more than you do consistently over time. I mean, I met you way back in the day when you were working with John Haar and then moved markets.
yeah, started over a few years ago.
Uh-huh.
Just from scratch, it just kind of worked. So that's kind of I just look for very positive, happy people pleasers that have crazy good work ethic. And because Santiago, it took him a long time. In fact, he had to start driving a van for me and doing my science because he ran out of money. But in the meantime, he worked and worked on his scripts and he made calls after call. And I think
So,
he might have been
so
sleeping in my van at one time. It got rough. But the guy, it at one point it clicked and he got a deal. Then two, three, and his confidence started growing, his skills. But he really put in an insane amount of effort, just time and effort, like I've never seen before. So
wow,
if anyone's looking
wow.
for like a magic trick, it's not there. This guy works.
Okay, but Santiago, let me ask you that let's talk about that. We have some agents that quote unquote work, put a lot in. They do the grind. Okay, they don't preview property. They don't switch it up. They do the grind. What would you say to somebody like that? How are we going to get them some more business?
I think just what Brian taught me is just have a super hyper focus morning, and then you do your your admin stuff, and then if you don't have any appointments, you go preview property, or you get back on the phone. It's pretty. I'm sure all these agents do the same thing I do. But that's what I found that's worked for me.
Santiago, if they did all the things that you do, I wouldn't have a job and I would be on an island somewhere.
Exactly. But also he spent a lot of after hours in the evenings working on scripts. I think he has a script room where he just sits in this room and does scripts and listens to me talk or recordings and
Yeah.
other
So,
people.
okay, okay. So he's emulating you, Brian, is what he's really kind of done. Is that what he's trying? What we're saying here,
Yeah. Yeah.
Santiago?
Well, here's the
Go
thing. His
ahead.
advantage is his background, his Mexican heritage, his Spanish, his dad. They just know how to work. And so that's his advantage over a lot of people nowadays just struggle. They've grown up soft or whatever it is. They really don't know how to really work.
So it's not just putting in 10, 12 hours. It's putting in 10, 12 hours doing something productive.
Yeah, sitting in an
Santiago,
office, talking with people all day, whatever. It's not
so
time, it's the effort.
so you've watched him grow, Brian. Okay. Any magic pills that you can point to for Santiago?
Zero. Absolutely nothing. This guy's worked for everything he has.
Wow. So Santiago, when you first started, you didn't have any money. You were driving around in Brian's truck putting up signs for him, right?
Yeah.
Didn't
If you
you
just
tell me, didn't you tell me yesterday or the day before when we were talking that right now you have quite a bit of money in the bank in cash?
I do. Yeah, I do.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I never imagined to be here wearing a suit on a nice office with, talking to wonderful people like you and everybody in this chat. Um, I probably have a lot of things to learn from everybody in here too. I mean, we probably went to the similar things as well. A little side note, when I went to Mexico, and I went to the schools out there, you got to wear a uniform. And classes are super weird out there because it goes by 1A, one B, one C. You know, it doesn't make sense to me even till this day. But when you go into Mexico from like a really, you know, a small little town and they say you're American, they think you got money, right? They thought I was an American guy. So I mean I got bullied and then I stood up for myself and I got into other stuff like, you know, like boxing and stuff. But the most important lesson I learned over there was, dude, the poorest people were the happiest people. They were the most given. I mean, I saw guys with like an arm and they were still working. I mean, there was a guy without a foot and he was still working. And I mean, I met a really great guy, um, and we became really good friends. He lived like in a little house of stick, and he would wear the same uniform, you could tell. And if he ever had a little bit of money and he bought like a little quesadilla, you know, if there was three of us, that guy would split it in three and he'd give it to us. And if he had a drink, he split the drink in three, you know, he'd give it to us. And he had nothing, but he was the most happiest person ever. And I'm here. I'm grateful to be here because my dad had to leave his family. I mean, my dad hasn't, you know, seen his parents in years, but I mean, he left his family to give us a better life and a better opportunity. And then God was super good to me to, you know, introduce me to, you know, Brian in my life, a guy that everything I have is because he taught me, you know, and he didn't have to, but he did. And he's a great leader and I thrive to be like him.
This sounds like a mutual admiration society meeting. I love it.
Pretty much.
It's it.
You guys are terrific. Excellent. You know what? I'm going to open it up a little bit because I don't want to mess with your time, Santiago. You're doing a great job here and you're
Thank you.
inspiring a lot of people. But I know that you're wanting to get back to the phones or the doors, right?
Correct.
Exactly. Questions for Santiago? Go ahead, Marco.
So Santiago, what are your most profitable lead sources?
I would say expired and just listed, just sold.
Okay.
Good question. Excellent. Josie.
Still door knocking?
Yes, yes, I do door knock.
How often?
Just the expireds. I look at a price point. If they're close to, you know, my office, or if I get here like really early, then I'll go knock those expireds.
Early in the morning?
Yeah, like I make a packet. And it just has a couple of information in there, and I just drop it at their door, and I just call them at 8 after they get the packet.
Okay, so you're passing the packet out to an expired, but not knocking the door
It's
early
too
in
early.
the morning.
Correct.
So 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock?
Yeah, around like 6. You know, we get here to the office at 6 and we pull the numbers. We don't get too much
Whoa,
expireds.
whoa. Hold on. You get to the office at what time?
So I have another great guy. His name is Victor. So me and him, I mean, he pretty much lives with me. And we wake up early in the morning, and then we come here at 6 in the morning, and then we don't get much. We get like 3, 4 on a daily basis.
Well,
Some-
wait, 3 or 4 expireds
3 or 4.
in
And-
your neighborhood.
Yeah, in all St. George. Washington County is really small. So
3 or 4 in all of St. George?
yes.
How many agents in your office and competitors?
What would you say, Brian? The numbers are
Our population is 200,000, and I think there's 2,000 agents.
And some of the people you compete with are other Mike Ferry agents?
Yeah, there's actually quite a few Mike Ferry agents here.
Yeah. And is there a whole stack of folders in front of all these expireds at 6 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, we just we make packets and we just deliver them, and then we call them at 8.
I don't think
love
there's
it.
other packets there, are there, Santiago?
No, there's not. No.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Wow. That's great. So you like the packet idea of getting it there early and then calling at 8:30 whenever you would normally call?
Yeah.
And the script is, hey, I dropped off a packet. Did you see it yet?
Correct. Yeah.
Brian, do you do that?
No, I'm too old now. I'm too tired.
Yeah, you're like what, 38?
I'm 45.
45? No
I know.
way.
I know. Nah, I can't keep up with these guys.
Yeah, I get it. Santiago, that's great. And Santiago and Victor, right?
Yeah, Victor. Yep.
6 o'clock in the morning.
So how many expired listings do you take a month?
I would say 1 to 3 around there.
That's good.
Hi,
Good for you.
Santiago. I have a question. It's Rosa.
Hi, Rosa.
Thank
Hey,
you. You're very inspiring.
Thank you.
So I'm wondering, what is in that package, and does the package matter when you call them? You
Some,
mentioned you dropped up a package.
so a couple of days ago, I just took a listing. I was the only guy. There's people that want to go knock that door. I think I knocked that door twice.
Mhm.
I was in that neighborhood, but I had making a packet. So I was in a suit, dropped off the packet, and then I set an appointment. He looked at it, and then I got the listing the next day. He was impressed. But the packet brings is like why hire us, plan of action, and a number of references.
Okay.
Nothing special. You're not giving them a $50 off coupon for Starbucks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you did say I dropped off the package. Did you see it? Kind of thing. Is that
Yeah,
how you do
yeah.
it?
I just sometimes I'll take a picture and I'll text them, hey, I dropped off a packet for you, and then I call them at 8.
Got it.
I love that even better.
Yeah.
And is the
Thank you.
packet, how is the packet packaged?
It's just there's 4 papers, and then we just put it in an envelope and we just seal it, and I just put their names and their address, and I just put it at the front door.
Oh, it does not even in an 8.5 by 11. It's in an envelope.
It's just in an envelope, white envelope, pretty simple.
It's 8.5, 11 envelope. It's just
Oh, an
plain-
8.5 by 11.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's simple.
so they're seeing something of substance, of
Yeah.
size.
Santiago?
Yes.
Hello. I'm sorry. My name is Victor as well. I just started last week.
Victor, you got a lot of feedback.
Can you hear me? I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's try it. There's a lot of feedback, though.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm here in the conference room at the Hemet
No,
office.
that's
Maybe-
fine. Go ahead. I think
Yeah.
you got rid of it.
Okay. Yeah. I thank you for having me. I just started last week, and I was just curious about the listing packet. How do you put that together? Is this something that that you do on your own, or is there like software provided for you, or?
So I am blessed enough to work under Brian Burnett. So Brian already had when I joined his team, he already had systems that work 100%. So I didn't have to reinvent the wheel. I mean, this guy just has system in place. So he has some staff. They create a packet for me, and then I just go. The expired packets I make, the listing packets, his staff makes it for me.
Okay, yeah, 'cause I plan on joining. I'm joining the mentorship program, and I guess that's how I'll go
Yeah,
from there. So-
every company works slightly different, but you have some teams in the company, Victor, that you could talk to about joining, and that's what Santiago did. Santiago by himself would do fine, would do well, but never as well and never as fast as by teaming up with Brian.
Right.
100% true.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
awesome.
Right, absolutely. Good stuff.
Thank you.
Okay, absolutely. Good. Any other question of Santiago? Anything else? No? Okay. Santiago, what would you recommend our agents do to help get a jump start here in the balance of the month? Are you planning on going to the Mike Ferry event next week?
I probably won't be there. I'll probably be in July, but I'd never go at the beginning of the year.
Oh, interesting. Okay. But Brian, will you be there? Or maybe not?
No, I won't be there.
Okay, got it. Okay. Well, then I can't have them introduce themselves to you, can I? Okay, so what else? So Santiago, right now in the next 30 days, what things do the agents have to do to jumpstart their year?
That's a great question. I would say probably just hit your contacts, Studies even till this day. I mean, I don't study as much as I should be, but I'm this 2026, I'm gonna get back on it again. But I have a great mastermind group, and like Nick Reeves, you got, Jose Barraza from California, um, Chris. Those guys work really hard. So we have a mastermind group, and we hop on in the morning, and we just role play, and then we get off work, and then we just call each other, and we just keep role playing, and we ask each other questions like, "Hey, what was the objection that stumped you today?" But it's a really positive group. So just role playing a lot, role playing with different personality styles. I'm sure, a lot of these agents do the same thing as I do. Nothing special about me, but just I just do the fundamental things, like write them down, read them, listen to. Like when I go to the gym, when I was first starting, Brian would record himself on the phone, and I'd be working out, and I'd be listening to Brian. I
That's
mean,
great.
I mean,
Excellent.
so that's just back to the fundamentals, I would say.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. So making sure they're previewing property,
Previewing
learning the
property.
scripts and dialogues at the highest level, and if they think they know it, it's still not enough, right?
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So you practice your scripts and dialogues pretty much every day. You listen to Brian pretty much every day, and yet you still come back to the scripts and dialogues on a regular basis with your accountability group at the end of the day.
Yes. Yes. It's pretty simple. Like once something works already, you don't have to change it. You just have to repeat it and do it over and over and over again. And like I said, the Burnett group has like this group has changed my life in so many ways. We start the meetings with a prayer. I mean, I'm Catholic. Um, it's everybody's just so lovable, and everybody
They
has
even
like
let Catholics into your prayer
they
meetings?
did, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it's just a positive group. I mean, staff is amazing. I mean, everybody. I mean, I these guys in my team, some of them are new. I still learn things from them. It feels nice, we can bounce ideas. I mean, these guys have big goals, so it's good being around that. Everybody's cheering you on. It's just I've never the atmosphere feels like it's just fireworks. That's all I could say.
Well, that's great. Fantastic. So being around like-minded people is important.
Yes, yes,
I love
absolutely.
it. I love it. Brian, anything you want to add to this conversation? This has been
No,
great.
no, it's been great. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, I
Well,
just really appreciate having Santiago on my team. We owe a lot to Steve Powers too. He coaches both of us, so he kind of teaches us a lot as well. So
absolutely. Yeah,
we work and we follow a system, and we're just do it every day. I mean, it's pretty just stay consistent.
I love it. I love it. You guys rock and roll. Absolutely. All right, unmute yourselves, please. Unmute yourselves. Let's give them a big hand. Woo! All right. So Santiago, we always take this time and go around the room and see what we learn from our speakers and our guests. You guys are welcome to hang with us. We record these